We're going to see a different Napoli to the one that lost 4-0, are we not?
You hope so, but I just think in the last 2 or 3 games that Napoli haven't quite been the same side. You know, and because you only need one defeat, and I think that 4-0 defeat has just rocked them a little bit. They didn't play particularly well at the weekend when they got a 2-1 victory against the lowly side. They just didn't play particularly well, and they didn't play particularly well. And they looked as though in the second half they couldn't see where a goal was coming from, and that's a slight worry from them. They've just knocked their confidence slightly. I still think they're going to come through, but it's going to be much tighter than I thought when we went into these 2 games.
Augie, to Robbo's point, they don't seem like the same Napoli. You think they can recapture it for the second leg?
I think, you know, Spalletti said that he didn't want to risk him for this game and losing for 5, which you understand, but he really has to play next week. And he didn't travel to Milan, he didn't train the day before, so he's not played there since mid-March. So if, on that basis, he's got a groin strain, hasn't played for almost a month, I think it's a massive gamble, but he has to play, and without him, they're not the same team. But it's not the same team. He's obviously got this great presence up front, he scores lots of goals, and when he's not playing, they're not as fearsome an opponent for teams to play. So I think that's where they've lost the edge, at the fact that he's not there. So I think Spalletti has to play him next week because, look, the Serie A title's in the bag, the 16 points clear. So I think their season depends on next Tuesday. What happens in Naples is their season. So you have to play Osimhen. And if he gets injured and scores the winner next week, then we're in the semi-finals and he might miss it. But you have to play him. You have to, because they're not the same team without him.
Yeah, he starts. Well, look, even if he's 60 or 70%, it's not like they're in a title fight and it's close, as Mark said. So you play him. If he comes off after half an hour, he comes off after half an hour. It's the gamble that you have to take. I wonder if, and nobody expected this from Napoli really, to have such a huge lead in Serie A. But we've discussed in this show before, particularly with PSG in certain seasons where they've been so far ahead in the league, and how that was going to affect the remainder of the season for them. Were they going to down their tools a little bit? Were they going to just, you know, tailor it back a little bit in terms of their performance? And I do wonder, as Robbo said, Napoli haven't been that sparkling side that we saw for 70% of this season, and I wonder if that's something to do with their league position.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.